Hello everybody, welcome back to the 1893 show. It's the Gills news, we're back again. It's been a bit of a quiet week, so we've got a couple of niche things to talk about and a very exciting exclusive that we can, the 1893 show, bring to you. Heard nowhere else, just here, but you've got to stay right to the end to get it. But let's dive right in. So we're just going to go through the days of the week that have happened this week and talk about the things that Gills have announced. Starting with, on Monday, we announced the annual pre-season friendly against Millwall at home. It takes place on the 15th of July, 1 p.m. kickoff. It will be the first one back from Como against Neil Harris's former side. I know it kind of happens every year pretty much. But I'm excited for it. I feel like Millwall did all right in the Championship last season, didn't they? Finished 8th. So I reckon if both sides put out a fairly decently strength side, we'll get a good insight into what we're working with for the season.
Pre-season friendlies, they just don't interest me.
Really?
They just don't. Obviously, travelling to Como, sick, because we get like 4 days in Italy, like buzzing, but it just doesn't interest me. Like, I'm buzzing to have Gills back and being able to go back and watch them. I really genuinely feel lost at the weekend. Like today, I feel lost not having a game to go to. But I'd rather can we just fast forward to the season? I don't care about the fact that we're going to play Millwall in a friendly. Let's get to the first game of the season, get Stockport, you know what I mean?
That's the big one. Yeah, I feel like that's all there is to it. I've only got 2 at-home friendlies against Millwall and Charlton coming up. A little more on that later on in the list. But that was all that happened Monday. That was all she wrote. A very quiet day at the club. I guess following from the quite loud end to last week that we had with the 2 signings and the kit reveals. And then on Tuesday, we made the nice announcement that we've sold over 3,000 season tickets so far. We're hopefully on track to beat our record, which is 3,447, which was set in the 09-10 season. Do you reckon we'll do it?
Possibly. It all depends on, and it shouldn't, but it all depends on the next few weeks of the transfer market, I think.
Okay.
I think course of the season, so obviously we do the half season tickets, don't we?
Yeah.
So once we get to that point, we will probably technically beat it, because the half tickets will add into the sales. If we make a statement signing, yes. If we don't, no.
Do you reckon if the statement signing is Alfie May, as rumoured to be one of our big signings, hopefully in this window, do you reckon we'll surpass the record? Is that the kind of statement signing you feel would do it, or do you think we need someone bigger and better?
No. I genuinely believe that although it will have a massive effect on everyone at the club and the fan base being a bit more optimistic if we do announce the signing of Alfie May, I think a lot of the ticket sales hype from Alfie May has already gone because of the link.
Okay.
I think we need something out of the blue. And I'm not saying that we're linked with this guy, I'm not saying that we're going to sign him, but if we came out tomorrow and we signed like Macaulay Langstaff or something like that, you know what I mean? Just out of the blue, no one expected it, that would boost the sales up and over. Not someone that we've been linked with since January.
Yeah, that makes sense. I definitely back your point on the hype around him, because it has been prolonged for so long. Those tickets have probably been bought in anticipation that he is coming to the club, and you'll probably only have a few that have probably held off until, or if we ever announce him as a Gills player. But either way, if we don't break it, over 3,000 is an incredible number to have through the door every week. I know there were a couple of games, I think maybe last season or the season before, where we were getting quite close to having 3,000 people through the door total. So having those people committed to maybe not coming week in, week out, depending on what your plans are, but those tickets have been sold and the club's getting that money in every week. And I think it's a great statement to the start of the season.
Let's take away, obviously, the exterior of signings and the expectation and whatever, and the expectation of meant to be top of the league. If you strip it right back, a lot of the people that are buying these season tickets aren't new fans. They're fans that are coming back because they had views against Paul Scally, they had views against whatever. So you're getting a lot of those. But I think it speaks to, obviously we had the celebration of the 6 months of the new owners this week. It speaks to what they've done since they come in. Yes, you can come in, you can throw your money about, but actually bringing people back through the door needs a lot more than that. So it speaks a lot to what they've done to bring that culture back and make people want to commit to going every other week or whatever it is this season.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully with a couple of the big fixtures we've got going on this year and the hype surrounding the two clubs that ultimately came up from the National League, hopefully we'll get a couple more through. And if not, if we're doing well by Christmas, I can't imagine why those half-season ticket sales won't rocket up to maybe compared to what they were last season post-Christmas, given the form that we were on around that time.
We are a team that was bottom of the league at Christmas. I know a lot's changed then, but we can have expectation, but expectation doesn't relate to results on the pitch. And there are a lot of Gills fans that are pessimists and won't believe it until they see it. So they may be holding out to get their half-season tickets and just pay every week up until that point. You know, I'd imagine a lot of people that are like, no, I want to see that there's actually going to be action on the pitch before I commit to parting with it's like free out of my money, so to speak.
Makes sense. I guess also on Tuesday we had a couple of commercial announcements regarding player sponsors and match sponsors. You can sponsor a player for £500 plus VAT or sponsor the match for £1,500 plus VAT. Now, if I had the money, and if you had the money, Alex, I would say the 1893 show should sponsor a player for £500 plus VAT. However, I do not have that change in my back pocket, and I imagine you don't have that change in your back pocket. But
you know very well that moving home, I don't have that change in my back pocket. And maybe when we get to later on this year, and obviously our lives have calmed down a little bit, we may reconsider. We'll pick up a January signing as one of the players that we sponsor.
Potentially. Or we could always do silly stuff in aid to raise money. Who knows? We'll think about it.
I've got an idea for that.
I've got
Check back.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that one. If you could sponsor a player, if we had the change right now to sponsor a player in the squad that we've got, who would you pick?
Oh, Ollie Hawkins.
Just so he knows that you're not his biggest hater.
From you. We all know my answer. Everyone watching already knows my answer. Rob McKenzie.
Of course it would be. Of course it would be. I'm not too sure who I would pick as my player sponsor. I feel like if I had the money, I'd probably go for Connor Masterson, to be honest. I feel like that's a good one and nice to get on board with the new signing. Well, new signing.
We'll get the money and then we'll do rock, paper, scissors over who decides.
Sounds
because we all know that.
Wednesday started off with something similar with you can sponsor the match ball for £750 plus VAT. And it was also a pretty slow day on Wednesday because they put out a little statement in regards to the kit. If you've ordered the replica kit, there was just a news article about how, it's not ready yet. You'll be told when it's ready. Probably because they're sick of people calling up saying, where's my kit? And when's it going to be here? Thursday, though, was a bit more exciting as it was fixture release day, which we did a whole video on, which went live on Thursday. We filmed it pretty late, got it out pretty late, but go check it out. It'll be right up there if you want to click on it. And we covered kind of our thoughts, but we'll give a quick rundown here, I suppose. Kicking off with Stockport away. A good first game?
On paper, yeah, it's a great. You know what? From a neutral point of view or a neutral Gills fan point of view, it's a great first fixture. It's one of the top the teams that are fully expected to be challenging at the top end for the top 3 spots. It'd be a good test of where we're at. Would I have preferred it to be maybe towards the end of August? Probably. Because I think first game of the season, even though you do have pre-season, you're still going to be finding your feet, trying to bed those new players in. Don't think Stockport are going to have as much as that because they already had a squad that was up there. So it's going to be a tough test and a tough kind of view of where we're at. Personally, travelling back to Stockport on the 5th of August is not top of my bucket list right now, but I will do it to follow the Mighty Gills.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, really. We've got 6 weeks until that game, 6 weeks to the day. It's currently Saturday right now as we film this. So only 5 more Saturdays have we got to get through without the Gills. But I think you're spot on in saying it would have been nicer to have that tougher competition maybe after we've had a bit more time to gel. If you look at 6 weeks, ultimately isn't really a long time. And I think we'll ultimately want to get more players through the door in that period as well. So it could be a bit tricky to embed them into the team, into a tough game that early on. But we'll see. One thing we didn't talk about in the fixture video was our confirmation of which teams were going to be in our EFL trophy group. Now, we've matched up to...
Trophy?
No, it's now called the EFL Trophy, isn't it? Yeah. The Leyton Orient, Pompey and Fulham's under 21s. Now, I did ask you a question at the end of the video that we did the other day. Would you give up winning the league but still winning promotion to win this Mickey Mouse Cup? And we both said no. But looking at the group that we're in, what are your expectations for it? Personally, I think we're going to do shit.
I think we...
You think?
Now, Leyton Orient, right, maybe we'll focus a bit more on it than Port. But Portsmouth will make no attempt and have made no attempt. They don't want to be in League One anymore. They've not wanted to be in League One for years. Mm-hmm. So their focus won't be on I'm still going to call it the Papa John's Passion Trophy, even if it's changed its name, right? It won't be on that. It's going to be on the league. So they'll be playing second string teams. Fulham under 21s. Yeah. We should be big.
Our under 21 teams never really do a lot in my eyes. I say that like we win against them, but
so the only challenge in there really should be Leyton Orient. So I think should be able to get out of the group.
I don't know. I think when you look at, I know it's hard to compare it because we had a different calibre of players in the group stage for this competition last year. We had Colchester United, Charlton and Brighton under 21s and we did stinky. But like I say, different calibre of players. And we do kind of look like we're building a good second string backup team as well. Players that you can call from the bench that could potentially start in these games. I hope personally that we don't focus on it too much in these early stages and only really focus on it when Wembley is a big potential off the back of it. I'd rather focus on the league at this stage personally. And if we get through, we get through. We also had the announcement of Southampton at home, the Carabao Cup, 8th of August. So our second game of the season, a Tuesday night. I will definitely be making the trip down to Medway for it. I'll see you there.
Actually,
I will be. Yeah, I won't be busy that day. I'll make sure my agenda's free. However, it's not on TV. It's not on TV, and I feel like myself and a lot of other Gills fans included are very surprised by that.
I'm not, right? So the two games that are on telly, right? Wrexham was going to be one. What was the other one again?
I don't even know. I was more bothered by the fact they'd pit Wrexham against Wigan.
Yeah, that's always going to be one. Wrexham's first round of the Carabao Cup was always going to be on telly. And the other one, I feel like it was another one.
Yeah, Burton Leicester. I can understand that one a bit.
Leicester are the bigger out of the two. And so you can fight me over all you want. You'll be talking to the hands. Have you won the Premier League? No, you haven't. So you're looking at you know, Premier League champions that have fallen into the Championship, and Wrexham, who are Hollywood. Of course,
Sky Sports' favourites. I am a bit disappointed that it's not on TV. I know notoriously there's this whole thing at Gills that we never really do well when we're on the box. And I suppose as a neutral fan, if you was to pick one you wanted to watch, it probably would be Wrexham because of the media hype that they get around them. But I feel like a lot of people would have said as a neutral they wouldn't have cared to watch Gillingham against Brentford last season, and look how that turned out. And it was even more of a surprise for me that our follow-up game against Wolves after that wasn't on TV also. So I'm just starting to think maybe there's an agenda here.
How do I say this about making Jules fans all hate me? Bear in mind, right? I'm from the area. I love Gillingham. Love the Gills. It's not exactly, you know, Vegas, is it? It's not top of the list of places that people want to visit, people really speak about, or people really care about. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't surprise me at all. You know what I mean? When there's a choice, Gillingham are one of them. I just don't think our hobby is kind of like everyone in Gillingham cares about it, and everyone in Gillingham loves the story of the Gallantons, but everyone outside of Gillingham doesn't really care too much.
I feel that, but at the same time, there is these days a lot more media attention on Gillingham since we got the new owners in, and we're doing a lot of business. There's a lot of expectations around us this season, up against a Southampton side who ultimately fell from grace last season. You know, I know they've not won the Premier League or anything like that, but they were one of the longest standing members of the Premier League, I believe. And so for them to now be out of it and coming to Gillingham in the Carabao Cup in the first round, I feel like that's a big thing. But alas, we move on, and hopefully we get through to the second round and are on the box then.
Fingers crossed.
It was also announced on Thursday our home game pre-season prices, if anyone cares. It's £12 for an adult, £8 for a senior, £5 for an under 18. And if you're under 14, you get to go in free of charge if you're sitting in the Medway stand lower. I believe if you attend with an adult, aren't you lucky?
I think technically our class is a senior at this point. Yeah. I feel like it, so I feel like I should get away with it.
Yeah, £8 sorted. We also had the announcement of the Fans Forum, which is taking place on July 27th with Brad, Shannon, Neil, Andy and Kenny. So that should be good. The last one was very informative, I found. Did you attend the last one, or you just got?
I didn't.
I didn't either. I just got the updates on Twitter, but I enjoyed it, and all the tickets for that are sold out now already. So.
Well, I wasn't planning on going anyway.
Not going. No pressing questions.
Yeah, not. The thing is, I do. Mm-hmm. I will just ask them in different channels.
Yeah, makes sense. I guess then we move on to Friday because it's currently Saturday and nothing's happened today, really. So Friday, we made two announcements. One was the announcement of Baylis Executive being our new travel partnership, and so their logo will be on all the club training wear. Cool, I guess.
Coach is a coach, right? The other I will say is we've been with Kings Ferry for a while, and people will underestimate the effect a coach driver does have on the squad as a whole, right? It sounds really cringe, right? But if you look at it from an outsider's perspective, I don't know if you watch like Ben Foster's YouTube, whatever, that would have had the same coach driver for the last how many years. I know Luton's coach driver is a family member and he's been there for years. He's been there since they were in League Two all the way up. He was in the celebrations. He was with the players. He was they are a part of the squad. You know, they spend a lot of time with the players, and changing that, who knows? Our away form was shocking. So to be fair, it might not have that much of an effect.
Yeah.
But it is like changing one of the team members.
I mean,
so it's always
hopefully a positive influence on what was a poor away form last season. And lastly, if anyone wants a job, Gillingham FC are hiring a media and marketing assistant with a salary of £23,000 to £24,000 a year.
I did look at it, and then I went, that's just not enough, unfortunately.
Need more money. He demands big bucks.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to offer me a weekly contract of £600 a week to go and sit on the bench, crack on. But no, can't quite afford me for that.
Yeah, that's everything we had to cover that's been announced by the club, and now I'm going to pass over to Alex, who's got an 89 free show exclusive for you all.
Yeah, so instead of just putting this out on my Twitter, I know some people have already heard it, because there's like this Jill's group chat that quite a few people are in, and I said it in there yesterday. But I will say out in the video, and I must stress that this is my own personal information. It does not reflect upon anywhere that my work is posted, anywhere that I'm associated with, etc., etc. This is personal information that I've come to light with, and I have to keep it as vague as possible. However, we are in the market and actively speaking to 2 players that are versatile within defence, so can play predominantly centre-half, but can fill in at left-back and or right-back at the same time. Beth knows one of the players, but I'm not allowed to say any names yet, so keep an eye out for that one. I know that it's a bit speculative at the moment. However, we are expected to sign another defender in the coming weeks.
Do you know from your exclusive sources, Alex, number one, how close that deal is? And also, number 2, whether that's looking to be, I know you said a backup, so I'm assuming it's someone that's going to sit on a bench and maybe come on for those, EFL Cup games or fill in as and when injuries or subs are needed.
So, I wouldn't expect it before Como, I'll be honest. Both more just contact and filling out. But what I will say is they aren't players that you would say they're coming in to sit on the bench. They are players that will rival the starting 11. And it goes back to what I said in our earlier video of I expect us to play a 5-back that can switch into a 4. They are players that would come in and start alongside Aimer, Masterson, or Robbie and Masterson, and fill in that other centre-back role and be able to adapt out to a full-back position. So they are players that would one of them is definitely a player that will walk into some League 1 clubs. The other would walk into most League 2 clubs.
Interesting. Well, that's the 80/90 free show exclusive. Anything else you can tell us, Alex, or is that all for this week?
Anything that isn't already out on Twitter? Not really. Alfie May is no further along, to my understanding. About it, really.
Happy days. A bit of a quiet week at the club. Nothing really going on apart from that big fixture list announcement. Hopefully we'll have a busier week this week because I believe we are now 2 weeks away. Yeah, 2 weeks away pretty much from going to Italy. So hopefully those next 2 weeks we'll be getting a couple of players through the door that we can take out there to get a couple of minutes and a bit of training in the sunshine.
Those next 2 weeks are going to be spent preparing my liver for the trip, to be honest. So, looking forward to it.
First round on you.
I don't know about that. Maybe.
Sweet.
Lovely. I think that's it for today. Cracking. So we will see you all again on Wednesday with, I don't know what we've got planned for Wednesday. I'm sure we'll think of something. And then we'll be back to fill in all the Gills news from the week next Sunday. As always,
Up Gills.
I've got Gills.
Up Gills.